You are alive. Pinch yourself. You're alive. Alive. The sign just said, you're alive. It's probably talking to me. I don't have any material to share with y'all tonight because I actually didn't intend on doing a mic at midnight tonight. I was going to go to bed. It's been a long day. I've been up since about 4 o'clock, 4:30 Central Time. It's just now midnight Central Time. It's been a long day. Most of that has been on this piece of junk right here. The laptop's 11 years old. So first off, it's kind of obsolete. Processors and circuitry inside, it doesn't take long, especially when you're editing video. It doesn't take long for it to start throwing off some serious heat. And once it starts doing that, it gets real slow. We don't have internet attached to it, so there's no problem with viruses. It's just old. You know, it's like a circuit breaker and electrical breaker box. They're filled with oil, and when the oil reaches a certain temperature, thus the electrical circuit is getting hot. The oil gets to a certain temperature and it becomes weak, and then it'd be like engine oil suddenly becoming like WD-40, and that because of that, it no longer is allowed to hold back the pressure that the spring for that breaker needs to trip. So of course, once you let it set, reset, and then when the oil cools off, you can set it back. No problem. But then usually if a breaker goes, it's a sign of a bigger problem. But anyway, in the same manner is with any other type of electrical device, even your fluorescent cool tube type light bulbs nowadays, you put your hand on them, you're not going to burn yourself like an incandescent bulb, but they still get hot. And so that's the problem with this, is it's old, and it doesn't take very much use to get the processors and everything all heated up inside there. Sometimes it gets slow, like today. Sometimes it just flat out shuts down. Never know what to expect. And I should have, years ago, I had a chance to buy my first Mac, which I've still yet to own. And instead, I went with the Hewlett Packard, which of course is a Windows product. I'm like, oh no, this was I think Windows, I want to say it was Windows 7. No, Vista. It was Windows Vista. And at first, right out of the gate, great computer, no problems out of it, but it's a brand spanking new laptop. Over time, your blue screens and your black screens with all the little white lettering telling you got so many seconds to hit any key before it goes off to the ozone layer doing its own thing. And you talk to anybody who owns a Mac, they'll tell you, no blue screens, no freezing up, no problems with viruses. Because the people who are writing the viruses are like anybody else. They don't have a lot of money coming out their backside, so they go buy a Windows computer because the Windows operating system is less expensive than the iOS. Therefore, since they're on a Windows computer when they're writing their little programs to hack and whatever else, hi baby, they those computers can only attack the same type of. It's like if you have all your files for your pictures are JPEGs and all this other stuff. You just can't take it all, put it on a CD or email it to yourself, and then send it over to your new computer, and it'll work. They have different file extensions, and of course, there's a way to route through something else to make it work without having to redo everything. But anyway, so that's the plan. But who's got $3,000? If I'm gonna buy a Mac, I'm gonna buy the best one there is, and $2,800. 512 gigs of nothing but memory and storage and power. And the idea is, like, I had a 51 Chevrolet Coupe years ago, and it had come from the factory with a 216 inline 6-cylinder engine and the Power Glide automatic, 2-speed automatic. And that was all that car, the heavier it was, that's all it needed to get around. Just to give you some scope on that, if you remember the Mustang 2s, the Ford Mustang 2s, and the Ford Mavericks, and all that, they had a 200 6-cylinder in them. So, the small 6. Chevy's 6 was a 250, and for the later years, 70, 60, 70s and up. But in the 50s, it was 216s, all the bigger it was. And they had taken that engine out and threw a 350 Chevrolet in there, 4-barrel carburetor. And that car would get up and scoot, but it was more power than what the car needed. So once you got your acceleration started, you just back out the throttle. And I got excellent gas mileage out of that car. Not because the V8 was super tuned. It was tuned excellent. I got such good mileage out of it is everywhere I went, I had my foot barely touching the throttle because I didn't need to give it much gas to make it move. And so that same principle is if you're going to buy a computer, because let's face it, even the cheapest, hey there, Espen, how's it going? Even with the cheapest Windows product you can get, it's still not going to be what cheap, $500, $300, something like that. And that's not going to do anything for what I'm wanting to do with videos and photos and all kinds of studio works and everything of that sort. So basically, the idea is to get more computer than what you need, and then you'll never have all the issues you have by having just barely what you need. Just getting your day started, are you? And anyhow, so that's the plan, is to eventually upgrade, but of course it could take some time to save up the money to do that. So I thought the mom would be asleep by now. She went to bed about 15, 20 minutes ago. She's had her a long day too. So we've been up doctor's appointments, and both of us saw a doctor today, and she's running around town getting bills taken care of and other issues and stuff. We've done groceries but anyway, so I'm sitting here now. I was going to be still got, it says an hour to go. The problem is it's been saying an hour for the last 30 minutes. So all I'm trying to do this video, I really early this morning went and typed out a new, that's not a new song, it's a song that I've been playing for quite some time, but I've always had my lyrics and chords in a kind of a rough draft form. So I had got that typed up. It didn't take real long at all. Got it typed up into my format that I have in my songbook, and printed it out. Everything's all good there. I spent most of the day trying to get this video. Of course, the editing process takes a lot of time. To place the chords on the screen at just the right time that they're appearing just a momentary portion of a second before you actually have to make. So your brain sees the chord before you actually even register it. Your brain's already understanding, okay, my next chord is this. So by the time you actually make the chord, it's time. And it takes a while to do this chord after chord after chord through the entire song. But every time this thing slows down, you're like, take a break, do whatever, and just. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I've been sitting here at the computer for 18 hours straight. I haven't, but I've put a lot. Usually about 4 hours is all it takes. I've spent every bit of that and then some. So, but yeah, it's something I wanted to do. I had told a friend this morning I was going to go ahead and put this up there for him to learn, and by golly, I still haven't finished the day out to get it done. I said, yeah, it ought to be online by the time. He said, if he already loaded, I said, no. I said, it ought to be up though by the time you get home from work. Sorry, Mike. It did happen. And, but I'm still working on it. So I decided, well, since I'm sitting here anyway, trying to keep from falling asleep, I'll go ahead and, because the mic at midnight, I don't necessarily do it every single night. I don't do it on Sunday nights at all anymore. And if I'm driving, or I've been driving all day and I'm out on the road sleeping, getting up to do a mic at midnight broadcast when I have to go back to sleep afterwards. So I just don't bother. And tonight, like I said, I'm tired, wore out. I wasn't going to do one tonight. But since I'm sitting here doing nothing anyway, why not bother y'all? So it's been, I forget where, now I remember we've talked, you're not in America. Where are you? I forget where you're at. I just remember wherever we were talking one time, you're a little bit of ways away. Norway, that's right. That's right. Eventually, if we run across each other's path like this, I'll remember everything. The thing about me remembering anything at all is about repetition. So, anyway. We had a nice day here today. What's really surprised me, we're in the what they call the foothills of the Ozarks. We're not actually up in the Ozark Mountains, but we're down. We're not quite down to the plains, but we're of course there's not a lot of flat ground in Arkansas, honestly. But we're not too far south of the Missouri line, so that puts us on the southeast end of the Ozark Mountains. And usually this time of year it's still pretty cold and what have you. It was like 60, 62 degrees today. It was a nice day. The whole week's supposed to be, of course, it's gonna be rain and stuff, but it's supposed to be mid to high 50s into just barely tapping into the 60s all week long. So I'm all for that. Yeah, I'd imagine y'all cold and snow and all that damp. You get that damp, heavy snow up there too, don't you? That wet snow where it's a big pain in the butt and sticks to everything. And shoveling. When I was a kid, I was born and raised in Chicago, and Lake Michigan, the city of Chicago is right off the lake, and the wind comes in, all that dampness and everything, moisture accumulates in the snow, and it's so heavy. You're out there trying to shovel that and just breaking your back. So. 10 Celsius. So 10 Celsius for you, that would have been right around maybe 38, 40 degrees for us. Something like that. Yeah. Although we've had some of that here the past few weeks. It's been cold here too. This past weekend and then into the middle of the week, it was pretty cold. And every day right around 32, 34 degrees during the day, 35, and then down to mid-20s at night. Which mid-20s for us would be maybe -5, -10 Celsius for you. Something like that. How cold? What's the extreme coldest winter that you get there in Norway? How cold is like an average winter? How cold does it usually get? I imagine y'all get some serious sub-zero stuff up there, don't you? Oh yeah, that's some serious sub-zeros, yes sir. Dang. Oh man. Yeah, I found as I was raised in that. When I remember being a kid, be out there playing, and mom, you get up in here and get a coat on. I'm like, oh, I'm not cold. And but I guess as we get older, that extra 5, that's still cold. I'm not cold. You get in right now, get a coat on, and then as we get older, all of a sudden it's not even that cold, and we're like, whoa. I sat there one night. I got a van that I'm little by little trying to convert into a camper if I ever get any time off the road trucking. And I've got half-inch foam insulation glued to the walls. Is all I've got done right now. When I'm done, it's going to be the full thickness of the walls, which is like 3 inches or so in the center, and then towards the top it's narrower, about 1.5 2 inches. And of course, everything will be paneled, and I'll have a vapor barrier and all. But right now, I tried sleeping in there a week ago. I was at work, and I climbed up in there with nothing but a small space heater. And even at 60 degrees isn't bad. But I was like, ooh, I just buried myself under them covers. So, no, I'm not sure. Is Norway below the Arctic Circle or above? I think it's below, isn't it? I know you're right there. Either way, you're this close to it, one side or the other. Yeah, my wife's the same way. The mama, we got a rule here in the house. Of course, lately I've been kind of wild for sound being home. Oh, so it's partially above and below. So Arctic Circle cuts right through it. I got you. Yeah, the rule in this house is until Miss Elaine has had her 2 cups of coffee and 1 cigarette in the morning, she don't even want anybody talking to her. And that's difficult because I'm kind of hobbling around on crutches right now, so I just can't go off to find some way to amuse myself without being somewhere near her. And so right away, as soon as she gets up, I'm like, hey, babe. Just, it still says 1 hour, but the green is the little bar that lets you know what kind of progress you're making. Yeah, when she first gets up, she I've never seen the movies or the TV series or whatever it is, but I can get an idea. It's about zombies. The Walking Dead, whatever it is. When she wakes up, it's like, don't talk to me or I'll kill you. Whereas I'm just the opposite. I'm like, hey, how you doing today? I'm like, if remember Robin Williams in the movie Good Morning Vietnam. Now I don't wake up that way. I wake up kind of crabby like anybody else, I suppose. But it just takes me about 5 minutes to get over that, rub the sleep out of my eyes, and I'm ready to start chewing someone's ear. Let's come on, let's talk. Let's woo. I'm like a kid that's had too much candy and on top of that too much soda pop. Just wound for sound. All the caffeine. Uh, so you said you're just getting your day started. What you get ready? I mean, what time is it up there? You getting ready to go to work? I'm taking it then, right? Oh wow! What kind of surgery did you have? I've had enough surgeries. I had surgery on my shoulder, had surgery on my foot. Hey Amanda, how are you? The mama's on here too. Spine. Oh man, that's some tricky stuff right there. That's. I know if they make a mistake, they can end up paralyzing you, right? Amanda, what are you up to this evening? Yeah, it's still nighttime for you. Amanda, she's over on the far west coast, near Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And so right now she's on basically what we call California time, which is Pacific time. So it's still not for her. Yeah, that's good. Elaine had when we first got married, she had some kind of a battery pack about the size of a small book. It was you can actually see it was inside of one of her butt cheeks, and there was wires that ran from that battery pack up into her lower spine, and I guess it was supposed to like make pulses or whatever to help relieve her of her back pain, but it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do, and then finally she, I want that taken out, and there's always the risk of paralyzation if they make a mistake, but we prayed for her and everything turned out good there. So they said, well, you want to put another one in there? She said, no. Which I can't blame her. I've had a couple surgeries since I've been here, and had my shoulder surgery, had surgery on my left Achilles tendon, had a bone spur growing through it, so I had to detach the tendon from the heel, grind the bone spur down, reattach. Oh man, I only thought this surgery hurt until they had that done. Wow. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So. Oh, I saw that, Amanda. I saw that picture that you posted with your son today. Said he don't like getting his picture took. um, that's a good picture though, Mom and her son. That was good photo. Oh, that's what. Yeah, I remember you saying you were gonna go to hockey. That's where you always at. Come on, Mom. I don't want my picture taken. I hadn't been to a hockey game in so long. Back when I lived up in Chicago, I didn't go all the time because I was trucking then too. But whenever I got a chance to, I'd always go to the Blackhawks game up there. And then I moved to Peoria, Illinois, and they have it's not semi-pro. It's just different league. Instead of the NHL, it's the IHL, and they had the Peoria Rivermen. And I'd actually seen more Peoria Rivermen games than I had Chicago Blackhawks games. And of course, being the fact the name Riverman and the Illinois River runs right through the center of Peoria and all the towboat barge line traffic. So whenever the Rivermen would succeed in a goal, they'd have one of those boat whistles, big loud horn, six horns all together in a big, humongous deal like this, and they would just lay on that dude every time they'd go ahead and make a goal. It was a lot of fun. I like hockey. Mm. Yeah, Elaine's the same way. Give me my coffee. I'm not ready to start. And then after she's had her coffee and had a cigarette, she still takes her a minute to really get kind of coherent. Different people handle the mornings different ways, and two, she battles fibromyalgia quite a bit, and so that doesn't help her sleep any. She sleeps restless sometimes, wakes up in pain, and especially on like a cool, damp morning where it's been raining or something. Oh yeah, I can tell she's hurting before I ever even see her, down having her coffee. She wakes up and you can see in her face the pain she's in. I feel bad because I'm one of these guys. I fix things. I see something out of place. I see it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical object either, but I see something that's not right and I try to correct it. I'm so bad. I'll go to Walmart and people will pick something up. They'll grab something off the shelf like this and like that, and they'll put it back at whatever shelf is closest instead of where they got it from. I'm I'm so bad. I'll do my shopping. I'm like, nope, this goes over here. This goes over here. Obsessive compulsive, I guess. But we'll go get you some coffee. And apparently, this thing's so slow. The green bar is making progress, but it's still saying 1 hour remaining. So, according to the size of the green bar, I'm just under 25% uploaded. And new song, Amanda. Mike One. I was on his 605 this morning, and he's getting really good at doing Up on the Roof by the Drifters. That's a song he's been working on. So I've had this one out here recently, playing it some. I've had this song for years. I decided it was time to go ahead and put it up in my format for my songbook, and I told him I'd get that done. I said I should be back online. I should have it on published by the time he got home from work, which I'm assuming would have been right around 5-6 o'clock. It's now 6, almost 7 hours later, and I'm still working. It is what it is. It's no biggie. And just like y'all, I consider him a friend. So the things that I will do for my friends that will sometimes involve not getting sleep or who knows what. So this is yeah, I haven't posted one in a while. I've actually got when I was home a while back when I had first gotten the van back out of the shop. I had some van videos still to post. I haven't done yet. I need to edit them and everything. I had a couple guitar videos, one of which was Guns N' Roses' Patience, and I think another one was Bob Seger, Turn the Page. And this one right here that I've been working on pretty much most of the day is the Everly Brothers' Bye Bye Love. So turned out pretty good, I think. All things considered, it's kind of a half cloudy day, and it had plenty of light coming in through the window. Those chase shadows away, and so that helped. I don't have a whole lot of fancy lighting or anything that you really need when you're indoors. So. Yeah, and that's what Mike was saying is that he does that Up on the Roof, and a couple of others that he's been working on that are just kind of what's the one of Where, oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from, and so everything's been kind of depressing. So, which, I mean, Bye Bye Love's a breakup song too, but it's a little more upbeat, So I figure I'll go ahead and get that one done. And I've been working on Under the Boardwalk, but also by the Drifters. And he's got the Drifters Up on the Roof, Under the Boardwalk. So all we got to do is find another Drifter song talking about middle ground, and we'll have everything, all elevations covered. So. Yeah, we've had us an interesting day because all Elaine's done. We talked about this last night some on my stream. All she's done the past few weeks is just run. That car doesn't usually get 100 miles a week on it, and here lately she's been doing about 700. And which in a car that's not really a lot. It still comes down to basically 100 mile a day. But when you're not used to doing that kind of driving on a regular basis, and it's between that and then the 200-mile drives to and from Memphis, she's pretty well worn out. So fortunately for us, her little Trailblazer, little Chevy Trailblazer, gets pretty good mileage. And I'm surprised being four-wheel drive, but it gets really good mileage. My van doesn't do near as good. Yeah. And that's what it is sometimes she'll go up there and they'll just need her during the day. They don't need her there during the evening. So then it's an hour and 15-minute drive, hour and 20-minute drive, something like that for her. And so of course it makes sense just to come on back home. But other times they'll have her, yeah, she ain't lying. They'll have her go ahead and spend the night. They go out of town, then she'll sit there with Miss Joe for the entire night or a couple nights in a row or what have you. Usually, everywhere we go, when I come home, I drive. But every now and then, I drive, anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 miles a week, and which used to be 3,000 to 4,000 every week, but these folks here aren't real good at finding freight. But after driving all week long and being cooped up in that truck, the last thing I want to do is drive when I get home sometimes. So then I'm like, well, if you don't care, and then like if she comes down to pick me up, like when my van was in the shop, that was the only way I got to get to and from work was have her take me. So I can be rested when I got there. She'd let me, in the passenger seat, recline the seat back, and she'd do the driving. And the same thing when I come back home. She's like, no, you just go ahead and rest. I'll drive. Okay. So, all right, we're right about 25%, and it still says 1 hour. So I imagine by the time we get about halfway, the time will start readjusting itself. But otherwise, though, yeah, I love to drive. I mean, the whole idea ever got me to thinking about getting out on the road to begin with was the fact that when I was a kid, I would take every little bit of money I could ever scrounge up and put it in the gas tank and just drive to come back home on E. I just love to drive, and it's not like a lot of people, especially when they're young, you gotta have the music blaring, which I did. But there's times I'd have the music completely off. I'd be driving right around the speed limit, maybe a little bit less. Well, no, the right now, for example, yeah, it's taking time too because of that. But even when I'm not on the phone at all, I'm technically always online, I suppose, but I'm not in the process of using it for anything. The main problem is the computer itself. It's just because even just to save it when I got done editing it and to save it, I don't know, it must have took at least an hour and a little more. Sometimes it takes even longer than that, and it's a real slow computer. We need to get another one, but right now we can't afford to get another one, so we'll just have to deal with it till we can. But I have found, because I would be doing an entire video. This would make me so mad, Amanda. I would do an entire video, about 3 or 4 hours invested into this. The whole thing edited. I'm almost done, and then all of a sudden I'll go move the mouse, and it starts that little blue circle going around that it's thinking. And it'll keep on doing that and keep on doing that. And I've actually walked away and come back, walked away, come back, thinking maybe it's going to set itself straight, and it doesn't. Then the only thing I can do then is just close it and start all over. And I'd be like, mother, I'd be cussing up a storm. So I found now, instead of doing the entire video from start to finish, editing it, I'll do a certain steps. And for example, I'll cut it all up in the pieces I need, rearrange it however I'm going to do, add my intro, that kind of thing. There's certain places where I want to add 2 different notes on the same screen with 2 different sizes or 2 different font types. And I can't do that from the same text window. So I have to put one, save it, then come back and put the other. So since I have found out this actually goes quicker, if I do so many steps, save the video, then I don't lose anything if the computer does crash later. And then go back and finish up. And if I do, I only lose the second half. I don't lose the first half. So I just go right back and start again. But yeah, the computer 11 years old, and when a computer gets that old, it's just wore out. All the heat and electrical items inside are just wore out. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not so smart that I learned it the first time out either. It took me several different occasions of cussing and threatening to go out and get a sledgehammer and reduce it to orange pulp. Oh, wow. They make a deal. I don't know how it works. I guess it just plugs in off a USB. They make an external hard drive. And you just go, of course, Circuit City is not business anymore, but that H.G. Edwards or whatever that one place is that does all the, in like New York City and all the New England area states. And then the, down here is like Best Buy. And you can go in there and get one of those and back everything up onto that so that if the computer crashes, you don't lose anything. It's all, basically you're bypassing this hard drive. You're working off the hard drive of the computer, but you're storing everything on the external hard drive so you don't lose nothing. Yeah. So now let me ask you, I'm not getting in your business or nothing, I'm not getting too personal, but you live on an island, is that right? So, I mean, is it mostly all residential and you have to go back to the mainland to go shopping, or how does that work? Is it big enough that there's stores there? It's huge. Okay. I didn't know because there's some islands on the river coming down the Mississippi where they'll have residential, but yeah, there's not even so much as a convenience store. Anything, of course, it's not so big. The river's not so big that you don't need to have a ferry. There's got a bridge up and over, and like Mud Island in Memphis and some others along the way. But that's all it is the rich folks that live out there. Not quite a third of the way. It's not giving. Usually it tells me how much percentage I have to go. Oh, and that's okay. I didn't know Victoria. I've heard Chrome talk about Victoria in several of his videos, but I didn't know exactly what that was the capital. Yeah, I didn't know that. Get out there one of these days. There's a lot I want to see between here and there, so that would be a good time to take like 2 weeks off, maybe 3, and stop and see everything along the way. Go up and visit with friends up there that I've made in Vancouver area, and then choose a different way to come home. So is it big enough that you have like an interstate to get you from one end of it to the other, or do you just gotta like go around the outer perimeter up through mountain roads, or how's that work? Is it like Hawaii? You know, Hawaii has the H1, H2, and H3 interstate systems. I didn't know if it was, yeah, island highways. So the next song, just that one, gotcha. The next song that I'm gonna, which I don't have this one uh, written down yet, but I'll find the lyrics for it and chords and everything. This is the next one. Since I met you, baby, my whole life has changed. Woo, woo, woo. I'm pretty sure it's Sonny James. And I used to have the 45. I had my own jukebox years ago, and when I'd come in off the road, I'd start pressing buttons, crank the volume up, jump in the shower, and I'd be in there just singing away, and it was pretty cool. I miss having my own jukebox. When I actually drive down the road most of the time, I don't have the radio on, but we're up to 12 chickens. I promised the mama that I was going to work on her video today, and I started trying to get this one done, and then going to start editing hers. And by the time we come back home from the doctor, this thing here just went into slow mode, and I haven't been able to get to hers. But so that tomorrow I'm going to do that. But she has several short video clips of the chickens that she tends to over there at Miss Joe's house, and so that's her first video is going to be a chicken video. There's one, the chicken's name is Reba. And whenever, like Reba McEntire, and whenever the mama goes up there, that chicken comes running to her. And that's how she knows, because they all look the same, she said, but how she knows which one's Reba. Reba will just come running straight to her. Pick me up, pet me. Because the chicken doesn't know it, but it's a chicken. Apparently it thinks it's a cat. Because it'll get up in her arm and snuggle with her and wants to be pet on and everything else. Then there's 2 others that she said have started letting her pick them up too, but yeah, well, she knows which one's Reba automatically. Same thing at night when it comes time to put them back up, Reba comes running to her. Not even halfway yet, and it still says about 1 hour. Remaining. If I could trust the computer to keep running, I would just go no problem. But what happens is when the screensaver, wherever it's at, it'll stop right. It don't stop, but it pauses itself, and that's where it'll still be when you come back and move the mouse again later. And I don't know how long it is. If it actually goes to sleep, if the computer after the screensaver's been active for so long, it'll go to sleep. Then I lose all of it. It'll go back there and go back to doing that thinking thing again. So If I keep up with the mouse and just wiggle it around, don't let the screensaver kick in, then the computer won't go to sleep, and then it'll slow but surely, slow but steady, I guess. Although I have noticed maybe the first 15%, first 10 to 15% goes by pretty quick, and then all of a sudden it just goes really slow. So, so if all goes well tomorrow, we're gonna do a little bit of running around, I guess. But all goes well tomorrow. I hope to have her video done in a lot quicker time, and hers is only gonna be 7 to 10 minutes long. So this one here I'm uploading right now is just under 14 minutes. And that's the part that kills me, is the amount of editing, even on a 14-minute video, is very time consuming. But the amount of upload time, the amount of time it takes to save it, and then the amount of time uploading for a 15-minute video. Yeah, I think all she has on her channel right now is videos that she shared, that, of my guitar singing and whatever. I'm not sure if she does all of them or what, but it doesn't notify me if somebody like saves someone else's video. It just notifies me if they post their own video. So I have yet to ever get a notification that she's posted anything. Tomorrow, that's the plan. Get her first video put together and let her get that set up there. So, meanwhile, she was showing me today some of the things she's been taking notes on. Some pretty good topics. Kind of like a did you know kind of thing. And I was like, that's a really good idea. And before long, her channel will take off. I'll still be under 200 subscribers, and she'll be up like Chrome 30,000 in no time. So I told her I'll show her how to do some of this stuff. It's not hard. It's just that you look at the computer and there's no self-explanatory way of, okay, so I click on this happens, click, in the editing program. So, which I'm using the Windows Movie Maker for editing. And, yeah, I hadn't, the last one I saw was, I guess, yesterday. He says, I have the answers to all your questions, but I got a lot going on. I didn't get all the way through. I got about halfway through it. So I've missed a lot being on the road lately and injured and everything else. Yeah, this first video of hers is just a chicken. She's not in. She's the one holding the camera. So, but I'm hoping to be one of these days where she goes up there. I know for a fact I'll be off work until at least the 22nd. I saw my doctor this morning. So I'm hoping that one of these days when she goes up there that I can go. Because Miss Jo loves me. I go up there and play guitar. She claps along and she's all happy. For an elderly woman, she's got really good spirits. And, but I figure if I can go up there and then, like, what was his name? Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. So then she can be in there tending to the chickens, and she can actually be talking to the camera, and I can be her cameraman. So, hey, Coach. Yeah, I know, right? Well, it's not for Amanda. It's only now getting to be 11 o'clock, so she still gets to stay up for a little while longer. Well, Amanda's just chilling. The mama is in bed waiting for me to come join her. And Espen took off to go get his day started, get coffee and whatever. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here waiting for a video to upload onto my phone off the laptop. I've been on the laptop most of the day editing. Major problems with our computer, old computer. And then after I get that put onto the phone and then upload it to YouTube, at that point it will do it. I don't have to have the phone on. Once I upload it to YouTube, I can just let the screensaver kick in, set it off aside there somewhere, and it'll do it all on its own. But all the rest of this, I have to babysit. Because if the screensaver kicks in, that pauses right wherever the screen went black at. As long as I keep the screen lit up, I have figured that part out, it keeps moving. So what are you up to this fine evening there, sir? You getting ready to get your day wound down, or are you just starting to wind it up? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird, honestly, because, technically it's still Monday night. To me, it don't become morning until the sun comes up. But, it's a trucker thing. I drive all night long, usually, so. Yeah, I can relate to that too. Um, Usually I'm up at night and sleep, get me cat naps throughout the day, but the job, 36 years of doing that. But now that I've been home, been injured, I'm actually kind of getting on a schedule. Um, stay awake all day and go sleep at night. So, I don't know if it's the air or what, but I've noticed that every evening I'll be up here and my nose just starts itching like crazy. And they say if your nose is itching, you got company coming over. No, this time of night there better not be. Oh, I used to hate that when I lived in Mississippi. I used to little. If you're looking at the map of Mississippi, kind of in the center of the state, straight up by the Tennessee line. I mean, this far away from the Tennessee line is the town of Corinth, which is basically straight north of Tupelo, Mississippi, by 1 hour. And I was married back then, and my ex-wife, her sister lived up the road a little piece. Another one of her sisters lived up the road, and they'd always be going back and forth, And where I lived, it was the only way to get from Mickey, Tennessee, without going out of the way. It was the shortest way. You just go right past my house, on the main highway right there, and they'd see the light on. Now, mind you, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'd be getting up to go to work, go trucking, but they'd still see the light on 10 o'clock at night. So they'd be like, "Hey, we saw the light on. I thought we'd come by and visit with y'all for a while." It's 10 o'clock at night, people. What are you doing knocking on my door? And anyway, one time her mother complained because I wouldn't put a shirt on. Well, no, if I put a shirt on, y'all gonna stay, But if I'm obviously I'm getting ready to go to bed. In fact, I was already in bed, and I put a pair of pants on, no socks, no shoes, no shirt, nothing. Just put a pair of pants on and went to answer the door. And I figured they would just like, "Oh, sorry, we wake y'all up." And so I was like, whatever. But yeah, I don't late night company on the weekend maybe, but during I call school night. Mm-mm. Unless it's an emergency, whatever it is on someone's mind, it'll keep till morning. Oh, not quite half, almost there, but it still says 1 hour remaining. It's been saying an hour remaining now for 42 minutes. Well, and I get that, but when you know the people real well because they're family, something should kick in and say, well, I know they're up, but I also know that he leaves real early in the morning. He's probably just now getting ready to go to bed. Let's just pass on by. Nope, if the light was on, they'd come by. They didn't care what day of the week it was either. I always swore I was going to wait till I knew they were all in bed, and right about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, come over there. Rap, 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 rap. Hey, what y'all doing? Decide to come over and have breakfast with y'all. Well, you know what time it is? No. I know as much about what the time is as you did when you come knocking on my door last week. I wouldn't be no like, tap, tap, tap. I mean, whap, 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 like it's an emergency. And then when they come to the door, just look, do like they do. You just walk. They kind of push you aside, find any little space there is between you and the door jam, and let themselves in because they're family, And so hey, decide we come by and visit for a little while. Y'all ain't got breakfast going yet? Come on, man. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Do unto others as others have already done unto you. Firm believer. I know that's not what it says, but that's the take I get out of it. So y'all, I don't necessarily call this the office because I don't conduct business from here. So all business I conduct is done behind the steering wheel of a big truck. So we call this the study, or some people might call it a den. Y'all been seeing a lot of that lately. So the video I'm uploading right now, I was like, I need to do this somewhere else. A little change of scenery from what's going on behind me. And so I went and parked myself out in front of one of the windows in the living room so I had good light. That's what this other video, I'm literally right next to one of the windows. Where the wood, I don't know if y'all have seen any of the guitar videos I've done where the wood stove behind me, big old fish up there, Mr. Simmons hanging above it. So I was just off to the back side of that stove right there by the window. We're close enough to half that you can almost call it half, but we ain't quite there yet. So, while I got y'all here, let me see if I can remember any good jokes. I know a lot of good jokes, but I'm trying to think what I can. Clean jokes. I'm a trucker, and before being a trucker, I was a sailor of sorts, barge lining, and so I don't know a lot of clean jokes. No whole lot of not so clean jokes though. Oh, let's see. Well, little known fact. I forget who it was. I think it was Mike Millen's mother-in-law was watching dolphins swim somewhere, wherever she was at this morning, traveling. And anyways, that reminded me of something I had read one time, that there are only two species on the entire planet. There are only two species that have intercourse for the sheer purpose of the pleasure of it. Every other species, from birds to mammals and everything in between, the only reason why they have any kind of sexual intercourse is for procreation. The idea of, okay, it's time to breed again, that kind of thing. But the one of those two that has sex for the sheer purpose of pleasure is, of course, the Homo sapien. That's us. People are like, what'd you just call me? And the uneducated people are always fun to deal with. But anyway, so one is the Homo sapien, human beings, and the other is the bottle-nosed dolphin. The only two species on the planet that have sex for the sheer pleasure of having sex. Like, oh, that feels real good. Let's do that again sometime. and I, you know what? Yay! I'm right smack dab down the middle, 50%. All right. How do you know that? How does some scientist somewhere come up with the? Well, yeah, you can just tell by the smile on his face. Because I've seen dogs going at it, and that dog back there on the guy riding, he looks like he's having a pretty good time. So, how do they ever come to the conclusion that, I mean, okay, he's not really a fish, but a really, really big fish has sex just for the sure pleasure of it? How do you know that? How did he tell you? How did he communicate? I know they say they can talk with dolphins and whatever else, and dolphins understand. Yeah, but you know what? All that dolphin ever sits back. So, oh yeah, that was him saying he likes sex. Yeah, I don't know. That's what they say anyway. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what they say. So, there's your trivia for the day. Well, Coach, it's I didn't have anything planned for this evening, and in fact, had this actually lasted like it was, if it had gotten done quicker like I was supposed to, it was my intention to already be in bed before midnight. And I've been up since 4:30, 4:20, something like that this morning. And well, technically now it's a new day. Yesterday morning, so we're going at 1 o'clock. So I'm just 3.5 hours shy of being up for 24 hours without a nap or anything. And in fact, I was sitting here, just like when you type up a book report, you always proofread it before you put it up and print it. So same thing. I got to watch the entire video, which fortunately was just 13 minutes, but the 13 and a half. Still, I was following when I got to the point after explaining what we're doing on here, and then I get to the point where the chords are appearing on the screen and everything, and I have to watch those because if I put the wrong chords in, once I save it, I can't undo that. I have to basically start all over, record the video again and everything. So I'm watching it, and I'm sitting here nodding off, and I'd catch myself like, dang it, I'd get right past the second verse and have to go back and rewind some. But yeah, the video turned out pretty good. I'm pleased with it. So anyway. Oh, 49 minutes. Y'all listen to me babble for 49 minutes. All right, so let me see now. This has gone out. So I guess I should be able to pull up the actual computer itself. And if it's done, it should be in the file I put it, right? And Ford vans, Mitsubishi, Montero, Everly Brothers, Bye Bye Love, final. That's I save it 2 or 3 times along the way, so that's how 1, 2, and then final. So it has made it. Yes, it has. It is on the phone, so I can go ahead and log off of that and close this thing down for the night. And I reckon, y'all, before I end up falling asleep right here talking to you, I'm going to go ahead and, same thing here, Coach. We're getting ready to go to bed too as soon as I upload this onto YouTube. So, um, Coach Amanda, have a good night, and Mama, I get to you in a little bit. She'll probably be asleep by the time I get in there, but I'll be there shortly. Anyway, I appreciate y'all coming by. Thanks. And night, Coach. Night, Amanda. Night to anybody else who may or may not have drifted through here. So y'all take care. We'll see you sometime. Was tomorrow or the next day, whenever. I'll make sure I have something for tomorrow. We'll plan something for tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. See you when we see you. Y'all be safe. Good night. Sweet dreams and all that stuff.